morning all. We'll begin today's session now. So here you're given a figure with a 3x3 cube and it is made up of 4 colored shapes. These colored shapes, they are given here. One is green, one is yellow, one is gray. This is the green, this is the yellow, this is gray, and the red one is what we have to find. The same color shapes are detached and shown separately for reference. These are the detached shapes. What you have to identify is what the red color block will look like. In this figure, when you look at the green color part, this green part, how it is fitted in, it is fitted in here. This C happens here. इसके साथ यहाँ पे आपका वो yellow color का part fit हो रहा है as a T like this, which means that there will be one block happening of red color jutting out here from on the third part on the first column from the top. Also, the gray part is happening here, which means ये जो horizontal part आपको यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, it looks like this, and then there will be one block which will be happening in the middle. इसके opposite side में एक और red block भी बाहर निकल रहा होगा. Further, I can also see that there is a red colored column which will be running through and through. Why it will be running through and through is because ये yellow color का part यहाँ पे आ रहा है, green color का part is fitted in on the first column, so naturally this part is going to run through and through. So that red colored block will actually look like this as 3 colored. एक साइड पे आपको ये वाला ब्लॉक दिखेगा, ऑपोजिट साइड पे जो यहाँ पे रेड ब्लॉक फिट होगा वो दिखेगा ऐसे. That which means कि फ्रंट साइड से वो क्रॉस दिखेगा. This will actually look something like this. Okay. Now when I draw that, I've drawn this. Further, I still have to draw the last 2 blocks. These 2 blocks which are seen at the back. They will happen like this. These 2 blocks will run through and through, and they will happen like this. So the correct configuration will be that seen in option B. If you still are not satisfied with the answer, you can keep on cross-checking option B with other option, and you will gauge okay, what is the issue here. With case of option D, ये वाला जो part है, वो इसके साथ coincide होगा, which is wrong. With case of option C, we are actually not able to see the block, this block at the bottom. And with case of option A, ये जो jut out किया हुआ clearly दिख रहा part है, जो यहाँ पे आ रहा है, वो नहीं दिख रहा है आपका. So A is wrong. Okay. So the correct answer is option B. Here, you are given some kind of a graphic, and you have to find which option will replace this question mark which are provided here. In order to solve this question, what we will do is, in this question, so what we will do is we'll try to extrapolate the horizontal and the vertical lines as I've shown here. Once I extrapolate the horizontal and the vertical lines, I see that they're actually merging with the lines that are drawn in the square. I'll just show you the before part, and then I'm going to show you the after part after drawing the lines. Further, I can also see that the square is gradually rotating. ये यहाँ से clockwise move किया, clockwise move किया, which means यहाँ से भी if I see the square profile rotation, it is gradually moving and rotating, which means the final figure will look something like this. Further, when I extrapolate the horizontal and the vertical lines, I will find that the correct answer is option D. Here, in this question, you're given one quadrant. This quadrant is mirrored along the x-axis, which means यहाँ पे कहीं पे उसका आधा part दिखेगा. And then this final figure is again rotated along the y-axis like this. Once this thing is done, what you have to find is what will be the correct pattern that will form. In this question, don't go around constructing the whole figure because it might be a little bit tedious. Rather, what I will do is I'll compare all the options amongst themselves and find the difference, what is different. When I compare the option, I find one thing to be extremely different. That is the number of strips that B has compared to the number of strips that CED or even A has. So there are 3 and there are 4 here. When I go and look for this difference in the question figure, I will see that there are 1, 2, and there are 3 strips here. So naturally, B is wrong. Then when I look for difference between A, C, and D, after negating B, I will find one prominent difference that A has is that of this strip. Now, if I'll again look at the question figure, there is no strip seen here in this part. So A is also wrong there. When I compare C and D together, again, I will start looking for difference. There's one prominent difference that we see in option C is that of this strip and this strip. One is a smaller strip and one is a bigger strip. Irrespective of what happens in the actual figure, even if I'm mirroring along the vertical axis, this difference should not be possible. एक side छोटा और एक side बड़ा mirror में नहीं possible है. So C is wrong and D is the one which will be the correct answer. Here, in this question, you are provided an unwrapped cube. This is the unwrapped cube or the surface development, also known as a surface development of a cube. This cube has cuts of specific shapes on all sides. These are all cutouts. What you're seeing here as shapes, they are actually cutouts, which means I can see through and through them. When the cube is folded, like how we see here, what will be the view as seen from the direction X? In this kind of question, you try to look for the figure which helps you guide and find what will be happening on its adjacent sides. In this case, that guiding shape is that of this hexagon. This hexagon becomes our guiding shape. How does it become our guiding shape? Is in this hexagon, I will look at along these horizontal shapes, the side which is parallel or adjacent to these horizontal lines, which shape will come on that side is what I will check in this unwrapped version. So the horizontal lines, these horizontal lines के adjacent shapes में क्या आएगा? एक side triangle आ रहा है यहाँ पे, which is seen very clearly, which is this triangle that we see here. और दूसरे side से आपको उल्टा triangle आ रहा है, which means that ulta triangle will be coinciding with this triangle and I will see some figure like this. I'll just redraw this whole thing as a bigger shape and it becomes more clear for you. So this is that box, the view. एक side, ये view के एक side पे आपका triangle है, which is this triangle. दूसरे side पे उल्टा triangle आ रहा है. And the centroids of both the triangles are the same. If you observe, the centroids of both the triangles are the same. So I don't have to worry about the placement of it because the centroid is going to be the same. When I place the other triangle at the back, which is shown, which I roughly tried to show through the red frame, it will actually look something like this. Which means the shape from that side view will look something like this, which is option D. Any doubts? I hope this is clear. Okay. Here we are given a graphic. How many times is the area of the outermost triangle compared to the area of the innermost triangle is what you have to find. So here, innermost triangle, ये जो word है आपका, what I will try to do is I'm going to try to extrapolate the lines of the innermost triangle like this. I'm going to try to extrapolate the lines of the innermost triangle like I'm shown here. Once I have done that, I will further keep on repeating the lines in terms of spacing. And I will get a figure something like this. जहाँ पे आपका innermost triangle is this shaded part. And the outermost triangle, वो किसके proportion है? When I keep on repeating the same spacing and keep on repeating it along the horizontal and also the angular lines, I'll get some graphic like this. After this, all I have to count is how many triangles is the outermost triangle composed of. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So the correct answer is option A, which is 16 parts. Here, we are given two graphics. When you add both the graphics together, which of the following figure will be formed? Here, we are not rotating, we are just adding them together. Okay. When you add them together, what in these kind of questions, rather than constructing, it will be much easier for you to again compare the options together. Okay. So when I compare the options together, with case of option B in this quadrant, I find the error where ये वाला जो green color दिख रहा है वो actually यहाँ पे blue color का है, so B गलत है. With case of option C, when I again compare that same quadrant, ये वाला जो middle वाला triangle है, it's supposed to be a lighter or a fluorescent green colored triangle, so C is also wrong. With case of option D, the issue happens with this quadrant of the hexagon, and in this quadrant, ये वाला जो आपका पार्ट है, मिडिल वाला जो आपका पार्ट है, the green triangle that you see here in the option D is supposed to be actually the darker blue colored triangle. So D is also wrong, and A is the one which is correct. I have not here correctly coincided it, but I'm assuming that only one answer is correct, or logically. So when I compare all the options together, we do and try to negate the differences that is coming out, I arrived at the option A easily. Okay. Here you're given a 3D structure which is made up of cubes of equal size. An L-shaped hole is made by removing a few cubes as shown on the left. Which of the 3D structures in the options on the right would successfully pass through this L-shaped hole, given that they are all also made up of cubes of the same size? We have to assume here that the cubes that we see in the option is exactly the same size of the cube that we see in the figure, or the figure with the hole on the left. So in this case, the easier way or the easier part, easier manner in which to look at this question is which view will be generated. I mean, which view when generated for say option A will actually give me a form of 3/2 L. So ये है आपका 3/2 L. All I have to find is I have to generate a view from either of the side. Like can I generate the view when I look at A from the bottom, or from the side, or from this side, which will easily fit into this void or this hole that is provided. Like for example, when I generate a view from X direction arrow that I've drawn here, I will be able to see this much part. ये part और ये part coincide हो जाएगा. So the view that I get from that side will be something like this, which can actually fit in easily through that much part of the question figure, which is this much part. So A is correct. With case of option B, when I again look at option B from this X direction, let me use a different color. I will be able to see this part and this part, which looks exactly like the hole itself that is given to us, like this. Which means कि ये वाला पूरा जो view है वो इसके through and through easily चला जाएगा without any obstruction. When I look at option C here, and I'm again going to look at the X view only, I will be looking at this and this facade, which will वो side का view आपका basically ऐसा दिखेगा. So ये भी आपका इजीली इसमें से चला जाएगा. Then when I look at option D and I am again taking the x direction, this part, the figure that will be generated here will actually look something like this. Like this. How will I pass this through this? This figure is, what I will do is, I will first, ये जो बड़ा वाला part है आपका, I will first pass that through. I will first pass this big part here. It goes through easily. ये वाला part एक ही रो, एक ही column है उसका, एक ही row है, एक ही cube 1/3 का है, वो चला जाएगा. Then I am going to slide it. Once it passes through, I will slide it like this. And then ये जो नीचे वाला part है, ये वाला जो part है, I will draw it with a different color so it's easy for you to see. ये वाला जो part है, वो यहाँ से I will take it out once I have done that. So D is also possible. So the correct answer in this case is A, B, C, and D. All four are correct in this case. Here, in the next question, here we are provided with 6 bar charts. They correspond to the volume of agriculture produced from farms of various farmers. The actual quantities are also shown in the figure. The red bar indicates tomatoes, green indicates leafy vegetables, blue indicates berries. Assume that they have seen each other's bar chart. All 6 people, they have seen each other's bar chart is what we have to assume. Who can correctly make at least one of the following statements? The first statement reads as, everyone who produced any one item more than what I produced, which means the person is claiming that anybody who produced one item more than what I produce, she also produced every other item more. Which means that if I am Neela, because Neela has the maximum produce of all 3. If Neela is making the claim that if anybody else, if everyone produced one item more than what I produced, everyone produces one item more than what I produce, it also produces every other item, which means that which means that if somebody who is making a claim that mere se zyada isne let's take Sukanya for example. If Sukanya and Neela, when I compare together, if Neela is making making more produce of tomatoes compared to Sukanya, Neela is also making more produce of the 2 parts, which is leafy vegetables and berries more. Which means that this person, whoever is making the claim, has to produce the least item. When I go with this kind of a question, with this kind of a start finding this person who is producing the least produce of all 3, I can start with Sukanya because she has relatively less. But then when I compare Sukanya with Sunita, that's where the first claim falls apart. It's wrong because Sukanya is producing more produce of tomatoes compared to Sunita. Also, berries ke case mein wo galat hai. So nobody from all 6 can make the first claim. Now, when I move to the next claim, everyone who produced one item less than what I produced, she also produced at least one other item less. So if one person is making the claim कि मेरे से ज्यादा कोई भी इंसान का मेरे से ज्यादा, like before me, if one person is producing one item less, then there is also another item less or another 1 or another 2 item less for that same person because it says 1 or less items. So either all 3 have to be less or either or either 2 of them have to be less. Okay. So that's where I'm going to start with Neela because she has the maximum. When I compare Neela with Vinita, I'm going to 1 by 1 comparison. Okay. When I compare Neela with Vinita, in both the cases, in case of Vinita, all the 3 are less. When I compare Neela with Nali, in this case, 2 are less. So it's satisfied. This is also satisfied. This is second condition satisfied. Okay. With case of Neela and Sukanya, because all three are less, the second condition is satisfied because it's 1 plus 2 or 1 plus 1. With case of Neela and Priya, two of them are getting satisfied, so it is correct. With case of Neela and Sunita, again, all three are getting satisfied, so two condition is satisfied. So Neela is the only one who can make at least one of the following statement to be true, or we can make that claim. So C is correct. Okay. In this question, what you are provided here is, you are provided here three people. All these three people, they are bringing with them gifts to a party. When they meet, they swap their gifts in such a way that no one gets back what they brought with them. These gifts are book, pen, ball. Then we are given who is making what claim. And then we have to find which of, based on after the gifts are swapped, which of the statements is true. In this question, what I'm going to first do is I'm going to first say the before part, or the before the swapping part. Who had which gift is what I'm going to first write. So this is Tina, this is Biju, and this is Suresh. The swapping, after the swapping, who is getting what is what I will write in this table. Suresh, Biju, and Tina. Okay. So in the first case, I go by statement to statement. Suresh says, I gave my gift to the one who gave away the ball. Biju says, I received my gift from the one who gave the gift to the one who gave away the ball. This is a little bit confusing. Tina says, I got what I wanted. I got what I always wanted, which is actually not making much clarity. The last statement, but Tina, you have to give away the pen. This is the fourth statement. The fourth statement clearly hints at saying that Tina had got with her the pen originally as a gift. Of course, she gets something else, but originally she had, before swapping, she had the pen, which means the book and the ball were either with Suresh and Biju, either or. Now, when I read the first statement, I gave my gift to the one who gave away the ball, which means that Suresh is giving away his gift to Biju because that's the only person that is left. So Biju is the one who gave away the ball, which means here ball will come and here the one book will come. So this was the original situation of the gift and the person. In the next condition, when they are swapping, we'll go by the first statement itself. I gave my gift to the one who gave away the ball. Suresh is giving book to Biju, which means Biju gets the book, and Biju gives away the ball to somebody else. Once Biju gets the book, I'm left with two gifts yet to be swapped. One is the pen and one is the ball. Now Tina, because she came in with the pen, she cannot have the pen because they have all the gifts. They don't get the gifts that they brought with. So it's not possible, which means Suresh has to get the ball and Suresh has to get the pen and Tina has to get the ball. So Suresh gets the pen and Tina gets the ball. So this has to be correct. Now, after the swapping, when I compare all the statements together, Tina gets the ball is correct. Tina gets the book is wrong. Suresh gets the pen is correct and Biju gets the book is also correct. So the correct answer is A, C, and D. We'll move to the next one. Here, we are given here two frames with square openings. When they are perfectly overlapped with each other and light is allowed to pass through the center, pass through certain patterns, it creates a pattern like this, how it is shown here. These frames are either hinged. These A and B frames are hinged and C and D are pivoted. This is the pivot point. Assume that the red frames are fixed and the blue frames are the ones which are moving. Which option will allow for the light to pass through as in the pattern shown on the left? Here what we are provided is the blue frame is the one which is moving and the red is the one which is fixed. In case of in case of hinge, the blue frame is one going to come on the red frame, which means यहाँ पे जो भी pattern आपको blue में दिख रहे हैं उसका mirror pattern यहाँ पे आने वाला है. Now first what I will, in order to make my life easier, I just have to find कि ये pattern कहाँ पे बन रहा है. So what I'm going to do is A में वो pattern कहाँ पे दिख रहा है, यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे दिख रहा है. Now the same thing has to be mirrored because it's a hinged arrangement. If the same pattern is seen on the mirror side also, then A will be correct. So A में वो mirror part यहाँ पे आ रहा है, ये वाला, ये वाला, ये वाला और ये वाला. So A is correct. When I overlay it, these are the punchers which will allow for the light to pass and create this pattern easily. Because it's hinged, we are looking at mirror. Okay. Then we'll go with option B. ऑप्शन बी में ये वाला जो पैटर्न है वो यहाँ पे आ रहा है, यहाँ पे नहीं है, यहाँ पे भी नहीं है और यहाँ पे भी नहीं है. If A is fixed and these two are dark, B is naturally, if the red frame is fixed and these two are dark, B में वो पैटर्न नहीं बनेगा because these two squares won't be allowing for light to pass. Okay. With case of पिवट जॉइंट में ये वाला जो ब्लू वाला पार्ट है वो ऊपर स्लाइड होके यहाँ पे आएगा, विच मीन्स ब्लू वाला जो भी अरेंजमेंट है उसका अगर मैं एंटी क्लॉकवाइज 90 डिग्री रोटेट करके रेड फ्रेम के ऊपर रख दूं, दैट इज हाउ द फ्रेम विल वर्क. सो हियर अगेन आई विल कंपेयर के ओके कैसे फॉर्म होगा. सो इन दिस केस अगेन आई एम गोइंग टू लोकेट दिस पैटर्न हियर इन सी. वन इज दिस बॉक्स एंड दिस बॉक्स. When I compare it, or rather when I assume कि ये edge और ये edge coincide होने वाला है, when I try to locate the same zigzag pattern, it happens here. And when it rotates, it fits perfectly to create this pattern also. So C is correct. With case of D, when this is fixed, and when I try to extrapolate that same pattern that we see here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, like we are seeing here, ये वाला एज आपका यहाँ पे फिक्स होने वाला है. What I will find is 1, यहाँ पे ये मिसिंग है, यहाँ पे ये बॉक्स भी मिसिंग है, and then 3, which means D में possible नहीं है, and the correct answer will be A and C. Okay. We'll end today's session with this. Thank you so much.